Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Elbows Tight Podcast. I'm your host, Travis. Sitting next to me on the right, my main man, John. How you doing today, John?
I'm doing great. Pre-game was excellent today.
Pre-what?
Pre-game. You heard me.
You said Graham.
No, I didn't.
And we got two special guests today. We have our friend Derek Dodd returning from episode 3. How you doing today, Derek?
Pretty good. How about you guys?
Not bad, man. Enjoying this beautiful weather. And then we also have our good friend, Kris. Kris, what is your last name? I should have asked that before.
It's Sevilla.
Kris Sevilla?
Yeah.
Nice.
And it's Kris with the K.
Right.
Kris with the K?
Chris with a K.
Bro, you definitely got tagged wrong.
Yeah, and then F too. So an F-E-R, not P-H.
Oh,
so
my gosh.
I'm all jacked up.
How you doing today, Kris?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Hey, so before we go any further, like usual, John, what do we got today for the beverage of the choice?
Well, we have 2 beverages today, but we're going to start with the first one, and maybe halfway through this podcast, we'll jump on the second one. But we have Schilling's Hard Cider. We have a pineapple passion fruit. It's delicious, 6.7% alcohol volume, so it's pretty low. But
For cider?
no, it's fantastic. It's
This
not
is-
too sweet. I really like it.
This is actually really
Yeah.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I'm surprised. I'm not a big cider guy, but lately, because it gives me heartburn, and then lately, Lordell's been drinking more cider, and I'm like, this is actually really good.
Well, it's normally the sugar that gives you the heartburn.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
one doesn't taste too sweet.
Yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with it. How do you guys like it?
I've had it before, so I just love ciders. I mean,
Really?
Yeah, I like the sweetness. So I actually think this is pretty sweet, but
Really? You
Yeah.
think it's pretty sweet? I don't think this is too bad.
We should say, too, it's 100% fresh pressed apples, no
Mm.
preservatives, nothing artificial.
You said this is a local brewery too, right?
yeah. So there's
it's
a little
vegan.
Seattle Tacoma stamp on there.
Oh, yeah. Unfiltered.
Delicious.
How you liking it, Derek?
It's pretty good. I don't really drink ciders, but this one's pretty good. Let me ask you guys, how do you guys choose when you go to the store and you're looking for a beer or cider or wine? How do you guys choose them?
Whatever has the best looking label.
Really?
No.
Man,
I look at well, the label does obviously if it catches my eye, and then I'll look at it and I'm like, oh, what's the flavors? Like if it gives like a brief description of what the palette is, then if I think it sounds good, then I'll grab it.
I'm budget based. I'm like, what?
Budget?
$18 for a 6-pack? What they got for about $9?
What about you guys? How do you guys pick your beverage of choice when you're out getting it?
Actually the label does catches my eye.
Yeah,
I'm like-
absolutely.
and that's how I saw
It's
it.
good smart. It's good smart marketing.
It's kind of a loud label, Schilling's
Is
hard
it-
cider. So
If you guys, the photo will be on Instagram of the 2 drinks today. But
So what do you think when you see that plane? What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
like World War II, bro.
Really? You know what came to my
Yeah.
mind? Was that guy that hijacked that plane and was flying it around Seattle and then crashed it.
When did that happen?
What about maybe 8 months ago?
yeah,
No.
He took a commercial
What?
airliner
That was
like
like a year ago.
like
yeah.
United Airlines, got in it, took off,
How?
flew for a couple hours. They couldn't get him down, and he just crashed it in a park.
couldn't land it. Didn't know how
Yeah.
to land.
Yeah, but he learned how to
Oh, he
fly
did.
it from video games. That's
He
what he
didn't
told
want
the
to.
air traffic
GTA,
controller.
baby.
He didn't want
GTA.
to land it.
Oh no, yeah.
He just
That's right.
wanted. He didn't want to hurt anybody, and
Yeah.
he just wanted to fly a plane before he died.
That's great. Did he die on the?
Yes.
Oh yes.
Oh, he crashed it that bad?
No, he was intentionally.
Oh, he's like,
ending it.
goodbye, cruel world.
yeah.
How's that happen though? I mean, he hijacked it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Entire
that's what I'm
plane,
saying.
like,
Like,
yeah.
how would you hijack a plane?
Yeah.
He worked
He
there.
he obviously
He
didn't
was-
go
he
through
was
the
a
same
ground
line
crew.
I went through.
He was a what?
He was a ground crew.
Oh, and he was just like, hey, pilots, I'll refuel it for you. Don't worry, I'll get you more peanuts. And then he was like, back me out, bro, back me out. And then he
Pretty
took
much.
off in a plane.
By himself.
That's crazy.
He was going crazy. Like he was doing some crazy maneuvers in that thing
Yeah.
too, wasn't he?
Oh,
Like,
he did a barrel roll.
yeah,
Did he really do a barrel?
in a commercial airliner.
And they
Dude,
would
that
ask
guy-
him, "Where did you learn this?" And he's like, "From video games."
Before he died? Like,
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
asking
He
him
was
over-
talking to air traffic controller, like it was all on tape. It was pretty interesting.
Because they scrambled jets from Woodby for it.
Oh, I mean, yeah, they would absolutely have to
Yeah.
because there's so much top secret stuff in this area. You know what I mean? Like I'm surprised we're not wearing tinfoil hats right now.
I am.
You know. So for the listeners out there that don't know who you are, Kris, can you give us a brief description of who you are, where you're from, what you do for a living, social security, another mother's maiden name, blood type,
Checking account.
checking account? No, just,
I guess everyone knows how to spell my name now. It's
yeah.
but Kris, I grew up in San Diego. I was born and raised there till I was 21, and I joined the Navy and saw the world. I was in the Navy for 10 years and then got out, and here I am. Like I took a detour to San Francisco after the Navy. I had a good opportunity for a job there, but realized that I couldn't afford to live there. I don't know how anyone affords to live there. So.
No, I know, right? It is crazy expensive.
Oh yeah, it was nice, but yeah, and here I am.
What was your rate in the Navy?
I was a FC fire controlman.
I didn't think you were in the Navy. For some reason, I never put that together.
I didn't know he was in the Navy until I started stalking his Instagram.
Wow.
I mean, is that weird?
I did 8 years, not 10, and got out. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I did 7. Derek's currently in. What, you're at?
I'm be at
Almost 10, right? 11?
11 in like 20 days, and
Booyah,
then I
Chief.
get out. Yep, and then I get out in 4 months.
What are you going to do? Are you leaving the area or are you going to stay here?
We've entertained everything, but I'm probably going to stay in the area for a little bit. But I'm looking at electrician, Mike from our gym.
Yeah.
He's got me interested in it, and I love the trades. I love working
Yeah.
on houses. I love doing all of that. So, yep.
You excited?
Oh man, I'm so excited. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm kind of getting
Wait,
there.
you said you're 4 months out?
4 months out.
So have you already done, started getting your exit stuff ready, like your
Oh yeah,
appointments?
I've been
Yeah.
to TAPS. I got to do my medical and all that stuff.
Because people that don't do that pay for it later.
He's talking about me. If you guys don't know.
I am.
Yeah, I saw Derek at the gym the other day, and I was like, Derek, hair's getting kind of long there, shipmate. Maybe you should get it cut, Chief.
Dang, bro.
Wow,
Call
put
me
you
out
out
like-
like that.
I'm within regs. Right?
Yeah.
4 inches in length, 2 inches in bulk.
Oh
all
my
right?
God, that's so funny. So last time we talked to you, Derek, Kris, you also did this as well. Is you were getting ready to compete in what was it, Revolution, right? Kris and Derek both have competed in Revolution, and reason we wanted to get them on mainly is because we want to hear you guys' experience on being in the mat and mauling another bear in front of people. You know what I mean? Like what was it like, Derek, when your first match? Well, give us a rundown of the day of.
Give us the mentality. Give us everything.
Yeah,
and I saw you
everything.
there because I was sitting right next to you, so I want to hear it.
All right, so
There I was.
there I was in the pits.
Starving.
Woke up.
I was
No,
a raving animal.
No, so I was worried about my weight because I was doing gi and no gi, and I was about 2 pounds from the weight, so I wasn't sure. You know, you drink a gallon of water, and that's like 8 pounds. So I was trying to watch my weight. I didn't eat that much the night before. Big mistake. Didn't eat really anything that morning, and I misjudged how long it would take for me to actually get on the mat. So I get there really early, watching the black belts, purple belts, brown belts, all that go, and it's like, all right, cool, I'm ready to go. Like, I'm ready to do this. I'm getting anxious, and so it's finally like my turn, and I'm realizing that I don't have enough. Like, I'm not even near the weight. I'm 2 pounds off, 3 pounds off, so I could have ate
Above or below?
below.
Oh.
So I could have ate whatever I
Did you
wanted.
not weigh yourself that morning?
I did, but I was worried about scale differences.
Oh,
by like
yeah,
a
yeah.
pound and
That's-
stuff like
yep,
that. And I
yep.
just paid $70, $80 to be a part of this tournament. And so, like I said, wouldn't have mattered. Shouldn't have mattered. But anyway, so up to, they give you like an hour before you can go in and start getting ready, getting warmed up in their warm-up area. There's so many people on that mat that there is no way to get warmed up.
Yeah.
I think next time I'm going to do my warm-up outside and then come in. But so got down to the mat, and yeah, even there it took like 40 minutes to get onto the mat because they were rotating people in and out. Had
Holy
to give
crap, 40 minutes?
Yeah, it was long.
A wait time? Like you were on
I was
deck at 40
on-
minutes?
Yeah, and yep. And it took a long time.
Holy crap.
There was, 22 people in my division at 185 for gi. So a lot of people. And
If you would have went over the weight, could they have just knocked you up a weight class?
Nope.
Oh, wow.
Why not?
All right.
because they had
Oh, that's
they
right.
had the brackets already set.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
I remember reading the rules, and it's kind of like it's not like weightlifting because you're not going against anyone but yourself in weightlifting. But they're like, if you miss weight, that is not a reason to move up in weight class. They're like, if you miss weight, thanks for your money.
Yeah, pretty much.
The only time they would move you up in weight is if no one was signed up in your weight class come
Yes.
competition
I
day,
think that
right?
happened to Billy.
Billy
he
got
went
moved
down.
in
No,
age class.
Yeah, in age
Yeah.
and out of masters.
Mm-hmm.
Or
He went
that
to
is age.
executive.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he actually moved down in weight and age. And
Mhm.
So, yeah. Got on the mat, excited. My heart was pounding for that first 40 minutes that I was down there. I thought I was going to go right away, and then, it took forever.
Yeah.
But then, man, I started going against him, and, everything kicked in. And then a minute in, and I remember distinctly looking at the clock, I was gassed. Completely gassed from not having any energy from not eating. So, like I said, huge mistake on my part. I ended up pulling it off. I don't really know how. It's kind of a blur, but won that one. And then I went to my second round about 5 minutes. So I had a break of 5 minutes, and then I went to the next match.
What?
Yeah.
5 minutes?
Yep.
So you got off the mat, got your hand raised, grabbed a drink of water, walked over to the next one.
Not exactly. Close. No, so like I said, I everything was cramping. So I was, the lack of food just really did it.
Right.
So I went over because Al and Cody were there. So I went over to Al and Cody, and I was like, I don't know if I can do this. It's the first time in a long time that I was like, oh my God, what did I get myself into? And my left calf was cramping up. So I was like, put it through the fence. And he's sitting there massaging my foot and massaging my leg. I'm like, this is really weird.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, dude, it was awesome. He stretched it out, he did everything, and then they were like, you're up. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, at least I'm a little ready. And the guy that I was going against was fresh because I got the what are they called? I don't know. He got a bye in the first round, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Just so you know, that was an interesting one because the guy you went up against in the second round, he was sitting directly in front of me, as was his mother. So I got to listen to their whole conversation. I was like, oh, that's interesting. But
Yeah, I ended up running into it. So he actually won the gi and the no gi.
The guy, he goes to Polsbo, right?
No, that's a different guy. So
Oh,
yeah, a
okay.
different guy. He goes to, where is it? Somewhere in Seattle.
Oh, that's not the guy I thought
no,
you were
it
going
wasn't.
against.
No, but so he ended up winning the gi and the no gi in my division for gi also. And so, I mean, not a bad person to lose to, but still hurt.
Yeah. And would you place in your gi
Gi, I didn't place at all.
and then no gi?
So no gi.
What was that? Before we talk about
Yeah.
placement, what was the no gi? Was it the same thing? Because it was later in the day, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a lot later in the day. So right after I was done with gi, I was like, I can't handle this. I'm about to pass out on the bleachers. I went to Chick-fil-A because
Yeah, you did.
someone talked about Chick-fil-A. I was like, I'm going to Chick-fil-A.
That
Cool.
was Cody.
Yeah.
He was like, you're out here. You got to try Chick-fil-A. I've never eaten there. He's like,
Yeah.
you got to do it.
Oh,
I
it was
was like,
delicious. I went there, got a chicken sandwich, a wrap, large fry, and a milkshake. And I scarfed it down, and I felt so much better. I went into gi, and I was.
Well, I saw you. You were like a zombie. You came up there and sat down on the stands, and you're like spacing out. I was like, what is he doing?
Yep.
And then you left, and you came back with that big bag of food, and you just started eating. And I
Yeah,
was like,
man.
oh, there you go.
Did you eat too much, or was it just?
No, it was
just
great.
right?
It was amazing.
This
You
was-
took a bite of it. You're like, oh my god, this. Is
Oh, I was eating in the car, as we're pulling away from Chick-fil-A, I was eating in the car, and I was just like energy, power level
the Energizer
rising.
Bunny came.
Yeah.
You still had to weigh in, right? For Nogi?
Yep. But I was good on that. I was like, I don't care. I'm 2 pounds off. I'm not going to eat 2 pounds in food.
Yeah,
Let's get
right.
that energy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I went into that and won my first one. Then I went against the guy who won the gi competition. And me and him kind of became competition friends. I met him in the locker room. I was like, "Hey man, good job!" And he's like, "Yeah, I had to borrow a bunch of clothes from other people because one." So definitely he got blood on it from the opponent.
Oh,
and
you
you're
can't
supposed-
wear that, right?
You can't wear it, so you're supposed to have an extra set of gis.
Hmm.
And he didn't have it, so he borrowed one. It didn't fit, and then he borrowed someone else's, and they were big, but he wore them, and they were falling off the whole time.
And they actually, the guy running the event got on the microphone and told people they could not wear mismatched gis.
Yep.
Oh shoot!
You had to wear like the right stuff.
Black and black, white
Yep.
and white,
really?
blue.
Yep.
So, and I made a mistake in that one. So in the gi, I was ahead and I was in side control, and I looked at the score, and it was 4-3. Well, I didn't know which one was for the guest or away. I don't know what they call it. But anyways, so I was ahead by 1 point, and I was like, but I thought he was. So I went for a risky move, trying to get a better position because he was strong. He was good. He was strong. And I was like, okay, I need to give it a little bit. Otherwise, he's going to stall out and he's just going to win. And I just went for a wrong move, and he swept me and he basically racked up points after that.
No.
But it's all right. So, and then I had one more match for third place, and me and that guy went for a couple minutes, and then he hurt himself. So he actually got taken out of it, but I was ahead anyways, so I'm just going to count that one up as a win.
It's a W for me.
Yeah. So, yep, got third in no-gi. There's 10 people or 12 people in that one. So
Wow. That's
yeah,
legit, man.
I felt good about it.
You excited for your next competition?
Yep, I'm training with Cody for it. He's got programming, and that's why I'm tracking my food.
Tracking food.
Yeah, I got the bug, man. I like it.
That's good, man. That's good. You don't regret it at all then?
Oh, no, it's nothing.
What would you change differently than
Eating.
Yeah. So, if you're out there and you're thinking about competing in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu the day of, weigh yourself the morning of. If you're underweight, maybe you should eat just a little bit. Just a little bit.
I think weight's a big deal, right?
It is.
Because, I didn't want to compete, but I'm going to because I watched you guys, and I'm like, man, do I want to, like, drop weight so I get to a lower... And then now I'm just like, whatever. I'm just going to eat like I eat. I'm work out like a workout, and I'm just going to be in whatever weight class I'm in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard because you choose your weight like a month in advance or something like that. Like
Choose your weight, choose your fate. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, so if you're close in weight, and you fluctuate, like I track it every day now, so I know what I'm going to be at. But yeah, if you're close in weight, I don't know, it might just be worth it going up just to feel good.
I'd rather feel like me going into it than a shell of me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, even if you miss it a little bit, right? Like, so. Well,
yeah, I mean, we roll with people who are bigger than us all the time, anyways. So
yeah, like Thor.
So your sleeve, you know what that is? That is a termite.
That was a termite flying on me?
They're flying right now. This is their season, so they're everywhere.
Are they trying to mate with me? Is that what's going on?
No, they're trying
If
to
you guys don't know, and you don't follow us on the gram, we are outside
First time?
in the woods recording. So if you hear like a wild bird or us flipping out because a bat's flying at us or something, that's why. So
Funny, I have pulled bats out of this umbrella. They
Well-
go inside at night and hang out in the little pouches.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so cool. You should keep one as a pet.
No.
What?
Mm-mm.
Why not?
Are you crazy?
You could feed them grapes.
No way.
Well, thanks, Derek, for your input, man. What would your one piece of advice be for anyone that's like a brand new white belt
thinking about it?
thinking
For
about
John.
it?
For
They could-
John.
Yeah.
For John.
Looking back at it, looking back at it now,
Nah,
what would you say?
I would say
And it doesn't have to be
it's-
work on this or whatever.
No,
you know
no,
what I
it's
mean?
not. It's gonna be. Don't be worried about the competition. I thought it was just the same as rolling at school. And then it's faster pace. So like I said before, everything that I knew kicked in. So if I knew it really good, I used it, and if not, I didn't have time to even think about using it. So the drilling part was a big part of it. But I mean, I didn't encounter anyone there that was there to tear your head off. I didn't encounter anyone that wanted to hurt anybody. Like I said, I made friends with the guy who won the competition and basically whooped up on me. The guy that I first faced, he came out to me afterwards after the match and was like, "Hey man, you were my first competition person." I was like, "Hey, you too." And like after we were done rolling, we were both so tired that like we hung out on the mat for a second. We just gave each other a hug. We were like, "Oh, I just want to rest here for a second." And we were like, "Dude, that was a great," just like like it is in class, man. It was like, "Dude, that was a great roll. Like, thank you, man. Like, thank you a lot."
That's awesome, dude.
So I thought it was great in the community building type thing.
That's awesome.
So I was curious. So would you think when you do it again, and I don't know what your strategy was, but was it more point-based or looking for a submission?
Good question. That's a great question.
I think it was more point-based when I was starting because I was thinking, take him down, 2 points, side control, 3 points.
Would you
mount.
still think that on the next one?
It depends on who it is.
Well, because what I noticed as an observer, there was very few submissions, very few, and I sat there for like 6-7 hours.
Well, yeah, you were saying that you noticed that between the white belts, right?
I noticed it a lot. Yeah, it was mostly somebody would get a good position, and then they would try to hold it, so they won off the points. So I was just curious going into the next one, would you, because I think my strategy will be I'm going to hunt a submission.
I would say depending on the person. Like the guy who was too strong for me, or the guy who won the competition. I would say for him, I would go for a submission because I'm going to be playing. Right when I started with him, I knew I was going to be playing defense. I was going to be playing from my back, and he was too quick, too good, too fast.
He must have been hella strong because you're pretty strong.
Pretty strong.
Yeah.
This dude is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's strong. So if you
He
felt
was-
like he was stronger,
I felt like he was
that must have
stronger.
been strong.
I felt
That's
like he was
crazy.
Yeah, he was, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that if you encounter someone like that, then I'm gonna play. You'll know in the first 30 seconds. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna. All right, I got 4.5 minutes to
And
try and submit him.
And you can't do wrist locks at the white belt level. It's got to be blue belt, from what I remember.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
So there's no.
Yeah, I'm not good
equalizer.
at wrist
Yeah.
locks anyway. So
Woo! Let me tell you, if there's one thing I love, it's a good old wrist lock.
I mean, you can threaten them.
Yeah. You can get them scared of it. Just don't try
Exactly.
to get them with it, right? Or just
I mean,
don't
that's
finish
my
it.
thing now is the distraction. If
Yeah.
I can't get my legs in, then, or if I'm trying to do something, I'll just tickle your neck. Like I got it from
Tickle
Cody.
your neck.
I
Now
got it
you're
from Cody,
scared me.
man. I got it from Cody. He would roll. Like I remember when we first started rolling. If you were just playing defense, he would like just tap your neck, and it would be like, "What's he doing? Oh, he's going for a move." And like he wasn't doing anything. He was just. I watched him one time, and it was like, you don't go for anything on that, do you?
Yeah, no.
He's like, no, it's a distraction.
He does that a lot. He'll reach for something that has nothing to do with anything he's looking for, and then have you defend that, and then you're just wide open.
It's when he's taking my
Wide
soul,
open
reaching
space.
for my soul. That's
Yeah.
all. I
Yeah.
heard that when you said it.
Something else to think about.
Yeah, right. If you haven't gotten that in your game yet,
Mm.
just mess around. When we first started, I would never stop grabbing stuff like gi. Like I would grab like sleeve, lapel, collar, sleeve, lapel, collar. And I remember Billy one time in the middle of it, he's like, "You are one grabby mother effer, bro." I'm like, "I'm not doing anything. I'm just trying to get you distracted." Like, but it's like 3 months into jiu-jitsu.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm just
grabbing my own
grabbing.
gi
I'm
at
just
this point.
I don't know any
like
submissions besides.
I'm cross-collaring myself trying to distract.
What is this?
Yeah.
Is that a new move that I haven't seen yet?
So I really wanted to see Chris at the competition, and I was like, man, I've been here like 7 hours. When is he going to get
Oh
on the
my
mat?
Gosh.
And as soon as you got on the mat, I was like, I'm out. When I saw the end of yours. But what'd you think?
With the whole thing, it was.
Yeah.
From morning of to
So-
when you got on that podium, bro.
I think I'm pretty addicted now. I mean, I'm
No
addi-
way.
I don't know the competition or whatever, but I'm addicted to jujitsu, and competition is just more jujitsu. So it was actually a good time, and just like Derek was saying, like he met some dudes there, and they're all you guys are buddies, just like in class, and you're like, hey man, good roll, and that was the thing. It was when I was getting ready. Standing up there, and who your opponent is. You guys are both like jumping around and getting warmed up, basically like 20 feet from each other, 15 feet from each other. And there's kind of that intimidation, or I don't know, like you're just jumping around getting warmed up, and as soon as that match is over, you're like, you guys hug and
Yeah, you both just went through it
bump-
together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then that's the thing. We were sitting down and talking about how tired we were, and it was like, yeah, you guys, like just watching the next match together. But I kind of, from the beginning, like Derek was talking about getting like with the weight and everything. My whole thing leaned up to it because I was competing at the 168-pound class, and I wanted to make sure that because I started heavy when I first signed up. I was about a little over 170, and
That's heavy? I'm 172. I feel like 168.
You're
is
calling
like
John
right
fat.
there. How much? Derek, how much do you weigh again, real quick?
I am at 172 right now.
See, that is amazing. To me, that's like the same. That's why it's like
yeah, oh yeah. I mean, and like because every day you could fluctuate like 2
Yeah.
to 5 pounds, and
Yeah.
But I was Yeah, I was around 170, even up to 175 when I first signed up. So
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure I got down, and then that whole week I was below 168, and I wanted to make sure I stayed below, or I didn't want to have anything to worry about the morning of the competition,
Yeah.
or the day of, and so I weighed myself, and I was like 165 at home with the gi on. I got to Tacoma, where it was a college, Lutheran college, I forget where it was,
Yeah.
but I got there, I weighed myself, and I was right on weight, so I was like 164, and I hadn't eaten anything but a banana, and I should have eaten, but I was still afraid. I was still kind of worried about it, so I didn't, and I definitely felt it, like Derek said, like I was so dead in that first match, and I still hadn't had anything to eat, but
How long after your weigh-in did you actually step on the mat?
Oh, fuck.
It might have been like half an hour. Real after we
Yeah.
all weighed in, or in, like your whole.
But you sign in early, right?
You
Because you have to be there.
Right.
Yeah, so you're there like maybe 6 hours before you actually
You don't have to
compete.
be.
Mm-mm.
No, you don't?
Oh,
No,
you don't? I
you
thought
don't.
that was the whole thing. Is you had to be there like the second the doors open to sign up or
No,
whatever.
you can show up as long as you're there the hour before
Oh, that's good
or
to
whatever it
know.
is. You can do it because, yeah, some guys just rolled in and like got right on the mat basically.
That's kind of nice.
But you have to be there. You have to be there an hour before.
I think they sent an email out telling you what time they expect you, or what time you can expect to be on the mat, and when they call your bracket. So I think for me, competing in the Masters in 168, it was like 12:30 was when I had to be there. I showed up around 11, so yeah, I guess I was late. Like most everyone got there like in the morning, right? Like
Yeah,
8, 9
that's
or
what
something.
that's what it seemed like. Everyone was talking about.
Yeah,
They
I got
like
there
at
about
7,
9.
Yeah.
8 in the morning. Yeah,
I got there right at the beginning of Billy's first match.
it's crazy.
But I was super nervous, and even warming up. So they called 168, and they called 168 adult or something, and I went down with Derek, and we were warming up a little bit on that crowded mat, and even like we were doing that chest pummeling thing, and I was like. I was freaking out, like, just because how I'm screwing this up. This is a stupid little warm up, and I'm like so out of tempo. So I knew I was just really nervous, and then even doing that, I was like, if I can't do this, how am I gonna look on the mat?
So what went through your head when the guy you went against put that guillotine on you?
I was totally fine, because I shot in, and he grabbed my neck, got me in the guillotine, but we went down, he went on his back, and I was comfortable.
Yeah,
So I do it to myself all the time. So
He held it for a long time.
He did.
did.
I was about to say in the
Yeah.
video, you can see he's holding that thing probably about a good 45 seconds.
It was- yeah.
squeezing as hard as he could.
yeah, and I saw the video, and he'd look up, look at his coaches and see if he's doing anything, if he's doing it right, and so he looked comfortable too, and holding my neck in that position. But I knew, all I was thinking was like, are my feet in the right place to get out of this guillotine? And I know they should have been on the opposite, like across his body, and then he eventually would have gone tired, or and my head would have popped out. But I just waited, really, and then kind of tried to force my head and neck out of his grip, and it happened, and then I was on top of him. So
And I think that was like defining moment of your match, because I was watching it and I was like, man, that guy's holding it and he's holding it and he's holding it. I was like, he should either let go, because he would have submitted you by now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He used so much energy.
You could see it
Trying
in
to-
his face.
trying to
man.
hold
Yeah.
you there and get you there, that when he was done, he was done. Like, he had
Mhm.
no more gas. Like, that was it. He put it all into that 45-second trying to guillotine you.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I got out, and I was on top of him. I don't remember if I mounted him or it was side mount, but I think it was like side. Yeah, it was side mount. But
I think it was side, then you went full mount.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then because I got him, and I went for a Kimura submission, and I couldn't get it. I was like, just cranking his arm too, and it was going all the way. Like, I don't know if he was super flexible, but I'm pretty sure I was doing something wrong, because I was like, I had him in a Kimura grip, and his arm was like back, in his back and above his head, and it was nothing. So I let go of that, and still stayed in a good position, side mount or something. So
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. I watched the video, and right when it happened, I was like, "No, Chris, not like this, Chris, not like
Me
this."
too. I was like, come on, man. We've been practicing every
Yeah.
class. You better not let him get you in that.
Yeah, John literally the next day, because I didn't go, on Monday he came into work, and he's like, I was like, how was it? He's like, the first thing he says, Chris almost got himself in a guillotine, man.
Well, because me and you were rolling like a lot
Right
leading
before-
up to
yeah,
that. And
yeah.
I'd get you in it,
Every
And I
time.
was like, no.
Yeah. So did you only compete in gi, or?
Just gi. Yeah, I knew I couldn't handle doing gi and no gi. I would have been so tired. And
There's no houses back there. I don't know what that is. We have lots
I think it's your hot tub.
Oh, yeah, it probably is.
If you guys didn't hear that in the background, there was just like, it sounded like a bulldozer was driving by. So.
Well, it's Pacific Northwest. It's nice outside, and we have a hot tub on the deck. So that's
And
what you're
we're,
hearing.
by the way, quick interjection. We are on the Rainy Days Brewing Company Goat Boater
What a
IPA.
great name.
I like that. Goat Boater. Which is,
See,
John, you want to give us the little bit of a rundown of the IPA that we're at now?
It says, 60 IBU. That's International Bitter Units, if I remember correctly. We're at 7% alcohol by volume. That's fantastic.
More than the cider.
What's it say on here? Let's see. Goat Boater Pale Ale. Slang for a kayaker, and what else would you want after an awesome day of paddling around? Big, juicy citrus and ripe tropical fruit aromas and flavors with a slight residual sweetness to balance out all the... Hey, I'm from Louisiana. Double dry hop goodness, big and hop flavor with
Citrus.
the subtle finish. Get dazed.
This is really good.
Yeah, it is good.
This is really good.
You know,
This-
what got me?
What?
The label.
The label, was it? Bro, I'm loving this citrus IPA, bro. This is like But did you know what
Hey,
I meant?
they like messing with me.
Oh man.
So, Chris, what would you give your advice to a brand new person? Or I wouldn't say brand new person.
Yeah,
sorry.
not brand new.
Let me
First competition.
First competition. What would your piece of advice
Travis
be
and
for
John,
the-
they're saying.
Yeah.
What
yeah,
advice
right?
would you give us?
Oh, I don't. I don't know. Like trying to think of what worked for me. Well, going back to what you're talking about the submissions earlier. So, I was trying to go for submission. I had 3 matches, and both my first and second, I was trying to go for submissions. I actually got one in my second match, and that was awesome because 2 minutes in, I got a submission. I had more time to rest, and I was,
Right,
you know,
right.
so that's go for a submission if you can. Don't play the points game unless you're really confident in yourself with doing the points thing and you know you could dominate your opponent, but you know anything could happen like in
Right.
jiu-jitsu, right? Yeah, someone could just you make a mistake, this dude could take advantage of that, and then you could be up 20 to 2, and then get caught in an armbar or anything. So,
Right.
So yeah, I think go for the submission.
Right.
I think they're harder. They're harder though to come by because we don't train at that speed that they are in competitions.
Right.
True.
So
yeah.
when when we get something in the gym to be a good partner, you don't give it, but you definitely don't fight it as much as you will in a competition. So
yeah.
when someone's going for an arm bar, in the gym, you may let it go because you don't want to, tweak your arm or whatever. But in the competition, you're just gonna rage like a bull and get out of there.
Right.
So I don't think that I was used to that pressure or that speed.
You weren't used to it?
No, not
Oh, okay.
not like when I got someone in a triangle,
Mm-hmm.
and usually triangles are like my go-to, and he just reacted a lot faster and maybe more panicked than I'm used to, and I just wasn't used to it, so it threw off my game a little bit. I got someone in an Americana, and I mean the guy was talking to me the whole time. He's like, "Oh, you're almost there." So that was kind of like class, but
Yeah. So would you recommend people, if they're thinking about competing, find that one partner and go a little bit harder?
Yeah, I'd say ask. Like
Yeah.
I've been doing that a lot lately. Like Logan, I just asked him like, "Hey, can you quit like going easy on me and just go hard? Because that's what I need." So I mean, I think asking is a big thing. Like I ask people, right? You want to stand up when we're rolling? Like, do you want to work on that? Because I do. Like
Right,
let's
yeah.
work on it.
yeah, I think that's a very fair
Yeah.
thing.
What would you guys do differently on the next one?
prep? You mean?
Yeah, like leading up, like what would you now that you've done the first one, you know your mistakes, right? shooting in for a double leg, leaving your neck exposed. Maybe one of them. But what would you change differently on the next one?
I think, like you said, talking with other people, saying, "Hey, I'm getting ready for the competition." Maybe not two guys competing that are going to be competing, but you get that friend who can give you that pressure that that's probably what you're going to see in the competition. I'd say, "Hey, I know I'm weak in this. Let's exploit this a little bit," or like you said, the stand-up game, because we don't do a lot of stand-up because our mats aren't big enough.
That's true.
Yeah, we can talk about that a little bit more. Kris, what do you think?
What would I do differently? I really don't know. I know, leading up to it, like the weeks leading up to it, and even like our school had like the mock competition, and that helped, and even the in-class mock competitions that we did, or mock matches, I think those helped to get us prepared or understand what we're gonna see. But if you can somehow tell yourself, because you're gonna be gassed. It's a sort of different. It's different from rolling in class, But if you could somehow make sure you keep yourself calm throughout the whole thing. And I know that's hard to do because it was for me. Like, I knew that I was going to be gassed because of my adrenaline.
Right.
And I was spent that first one. I even, I had to do in a triangle, and I couldn't finish. And then because I was squeezing so hard for like, a minute, the last minute, I could barely stand after that first match. But after that, the second and third ones, then it felt like normal rolling, sort of. It was just like you've done this before, or and if you could somehow just get to that sooner. Sorry.
But it's funny you say that. I've actually read some tips, and they say roll before your first. Like, roll with one of your partners. Like, if you're there with somebody go ahead and roll. Get it out your system, and then get in your roll.
That's what I'm thinking is before the match, before you actually go, like maybe bring one of your roll-up ones or someone that has a roll-up one. I think what I'm gonna do is go run a mile beforehand.
Or you can borrow my roll-up one. I don't mind.
No. I'm saying I'm gonna go run a mile, and then I'm gonna come back, do my roll. They had like a grass area outside, and roll that mat out, and just do my warm-ups there, and then throughout the next hour before I have to actually be on the mat, I think I'm gonna just do the jumping around and some pummeling and shit. But at least my joints are warmed up because they definitely weren't warm when I started because I didn't have enough room.
Yeah. Oh, I got you saying. Yeah, you guys said that mat was super crowded. Was it like everyone, all the white belts?
Yeah,
like
where they were,
it
was a lot of people.
Really?
Yeah, and then you got a couple guys who are trying to do their stuff to get ready, and like they're taking up, say they're like 30 squares. They're taking up like 5 squares doing their pummeling or something. But I mean, there was probably, white belt was over half of.
That's crazy.
Of the competition there.
Yeah.
So we're all going within that hour or two, and so there's a lot of people.
And it was a fat lie they had concessions there. I'll put that out right now, Revolution. If you're listening, it would be nice if you actually had some concessions there, like healthy food and drinks that people could eat.
Right? It wasn't healthy. It's
no, because I didn't
It's
eat.
amazing to me.
And I went there because I wanted to watch you guys because they said there was concessions. And I was like, man, that's why when you went and got your Chick-fil-A, I was like, that bastard. I was so hungry, and he's just chowing down next to me. I was like,
John, you didn't get any food?
None. I know.
Chick-fil-A's delicious.
I watched him eat it. I was like,
I had a wrap. I think I offered you it.
You did. But I was like, you're competing. I'm not going to eat your food.
But no, yeah. So it's amazing that they don't have at competitions, like even CrossFit competitions when I was doing them.
Yeah,
they hardly ever had good, like really good.
Where's the healthy stuff?
Food.
Yeah, let's eat.
Give me some bananas, man.
At the throwdown, you and I and Ian did, one of our fellow coaches at the gym. They had like the paleo caveman truck there that we actually won food from for getting third place, which was legit. But yeah, usually it's like, hey, you want a burger and fries, or you want
like this.
It's a paleo burger.
That's interesting. You know what? I'm gonna
like,
talk to Emily and let her know that they have that going on in November, and
Yeah.
see if she could set something up to have her be prepped food out there.
That'd be smart. It's good marketing for her.
And great food for people to eat.
Plug for Emily, please.
Yeah. Be prepped.
Emily Malone, be prepped.
Be prepped.
Yep.
So
that warm up, like I thought it was completely pointless warming up because what did
Yeah.
you do after? Like
You wait
sat,
nothing,
You
right?
waited.
No,
you did
yeah,
nothing,
that's what
yeah.
I'm saying. Yeah, so we got down. Like I said, I waited for 40 minutes
Yeah.
for a match, and I was like, "Hey, man, I'm nervous. I got the nervous peas. Can I go, or am I going to be up soon?" And they're like, you better be back." I'm like, "How long do I got to wait?" And I was waiting for another 20 minutes after that. I was like, "Thank God I went pee."
Yeah.
But
That's like when we do at a weightlifting meet. Once again, I refer back to a lot of jiu-jitsu to what I do know, which is weightlifting, CrossFit, and all that stuff, right? And in a weightlifting meet, it's kind of the same thing. You get super nervous on your first lift, right? Like you're on deck, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm going out there. Like the next lift is going to be me. But what really matters is what leads up to that first lift, right? Like everything is timed, like percentage-wise, lift-wise, time-wise, when you're going to hit what percentage at what time for what lift, leading up to your lift, right? So that first lift. So say I'm opening up at a clean and jerk of, I don't know, like 245 pounds, something super simple, right? I'm going to do a percentage of that 245 in incremental lifts throughout my warm-up period, right? So I'll hit a warm-up at 80% of my opener, and then I'll hit 83%, and then 85%, and then, right before I'm about to go on, say 5-6 minutes before I go on, I'm going to hit a 96% one clean and jerk of my opener, right? And then when I step on the I guess the mat or the platform, sorry, for my first clean and jerk, boom, I'm warm enough and I've been active enough. That way I'm not stepping on the platform like, man, I just warmed up 2 hours ago. I thought I was getting ready to go on right now. You know what I mean? So maybe that's something. I know it's hard in a competition like that where it's kind of there's a lot of variables based on how fast a match goes or how long a match goes. You know what I mean? But now that you guys have the insight of a little bit more knowledge, maybe now you guys can warm up better, or you can be a little bit smarter with it. You know what I mean? Instead of unfortunately warming up 40 minutes later, having to go out there. So
well, it sucks too. The waiting area is really not comfortable.
No.
What
was the waiting area?
Right next to the mat, and all the coaches for people that are on the mat are right behind the fence, right where you're sitting and waiting. And they're like, "Hey, can you get down?" And it's like, dude, it's a cement floor. Like, sure, I'll get down. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna be mean about it, but it's like,
right,
I'm super uncomfortable here. Like, and there's nothing. Like, there's no. At least have chairs. I don't know. Like,
yeah,
I was super in sandals. You're sitting. You're sitting Indian style on the cement. I don't know.
Yeah, Chris, did you ever think you would compete in jiu-jitsu when you first started? What was your reason for starting jiu-jitsu? And now that you had, like you said, you have the bug, are you going to continue?
Oh yeah. Like the competition, just that one I did, it was super fun. So I'm gonna just keep doing it until I can't, I guess. But when I got into jiu-jitsu, I was looking for something to help me lose weight because I ballooned when I got it. Like when I moved up to here from San Francisco, I weighed I gained almost 40 pounds within like 6 months
of being here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And so
usually it's the opposite.
I should show him my Disney picture from like 2 years ago.
If you guys have never seen a shirt screaming in a photo, looking at John at Disneyland last time, you'll see.
Pretty rough.
But go on, sorry.
well, yeah, and so I was like, I knew I was way bigger than I felt comfortable at being at a weight. So I did CrossFit with Cody at the 7 Cities for a little bit to help me try to lose weight. And I've done it before when I was in San Diego, and it I was fitter then. So now doing it this time around, I think it was probably a couple years ago that I did. I was in 6 months, and then I have a garage gym at home, so I was like, okay, I think I'll just get going at home. But that didn't help. I didn't lose any weight, so I wanted to get back into jiu-jitsu. So I actually started jiu-jitsu 4 or 5 years ago in Chicago when I was there. But it was like It was 6 months, so I didn't even get a stripe out of it or anything.
Oh,
I
6
just-
months is long though.
Yeah,
That's pretty
6 months
good.
is a.
if that. I don't even remember, but it was a short stint.
I knew it. No.
But yeah, again, I didn't even get a stripe out of it. So, but I guess that's when the bug started. But it's been 4 or 5 years, and I knew how much I sweat doing jiu-jitsu. So I was like, okay, that's a good way to maybe lose weight. And then I was just looking up, and I wish I had joined when it first opened our school. But
So awesome.
yeah, I got in, I guess, a year after it had opened. I think it was like December or January when I joined, and one of the main reasons was so close to home. So, but yeah, I got there and I loved it. Everyone there was awesome. And yeah, it was fun. I didn't lose any weight when I was doing it, and I realized the problem was not anything I was doing. Well, sorta, but I was just eating like crap every single
Yeah,
day.
Well, you're
it's
the only
crazy.
person I know that wears a hoodie under the gi while
Yeah,
we're working
he's-
out. And you must have
Billy
joined
does
in
it. Billy does
January
it,
because
yeah.
we were in Japan, and I don't think you had joined before then.
Yeah, I think it was you guys came after. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you guys came back from Japan is when we
Yep.
first met. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I do the hoodie thing.
I'm like, damn, he's strong. Look at him
That's-
wearing a hoodie.
that's gonna be a
I'm
signature-
hot for him.
That's gonna be a signature thing in like 10 years. When he's a
That's-
black
right.
belt, he
Yeah.
like comes out on the mat with a hoodie. It's
Everyone's like,
everyone's
I
like,
am not messing with that dude.
is he allowed to wear hoodies? Like, that's just him, bro. Like,
And I think
try
one-
and tell him different.
I think one thing we're glossing over is Chris is the only one so far that had his ear drained from a
I wanted to talk
cauliflower
about that. Yes.
in our gym on the mat after some good rolls. Like,
It's
I don't
on
even know
our
I did it.
Facebook page.
Yeah.
Not our Facebook page, but the school's Facebook page. And I was like, man, Chris, you are a brave man for having your ear drained
I was
At
such
the
a
school.
wuss, dude.
after you
George.
just
By
got
George.
done sweating and rolling. Matt's probably aren't disinfected. George has rubber gloves on though.
He did.
He's sweating on top of you. And I was like,
more power to you.
good for you, Chris. I would have at least stepped outside.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't have done it on the mat too. But
It looks so much better now, though.
Yeah. Chris, I think
Let's
we
see
should
Let's
get
see it real quick.
so it did calm down a little
No,
bit.
you,
It was-
yeah,
How-
yeah, look at that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's not bad. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not
So
bad at all.
tell us your cauliflower ear experience, because there's a lot of white belts out there that would love to have that cauliflower ear, bro.
I have seen people do it intentionally.
Yeah,
Which is-
there's videos.
Which is crazy to me
ridiculous.
because it hurts. It actually hurts. I hate like rolling with that thing. It's annoying. Like
rolling
my,
with that thing is like your buddy now.
Yeah,
It's like,
get
look at this guy on my ear.
Get off my ear!
like when my head is against someone's chest or shoulder or whatever, and
You're tapping.
I want to. I really want to. It's like neon belly.
Hey, it
you
helped
know?
my
Like,
game.
I
I'm
want
like,
to
don't
tap.
touch
belly,
his ear.
baby.
Don't
Yeah.
touch his ear. Don't touch his ear.
But yeah, it folds over and you can feel it, and I'm like, oh,
I'm
I
just
gotta
gonna
get
press
back
on
to
his
this.
ear. It's like, ow, tap, tap, tap.
It was weird when I first found it. It was my wife and I were driving to Costco, and I wanted to check my right ear because I knew it was sore for a while. And I felt it, and it was good. So I went over to my left ear, which is where the cauliflower was. I felt a bump. I'm like, oh no, and I look in the mirror. Sure enough, it was like the size of a grape. It was like. I might be exaggerating, but it was pretty big.
No,
to me,
it was
you know?
definitely-
I'd
I'm not gonna lie to you,
I'd
it's-
stab it right there.
Yeah. No, it was definitely the size of a grape, like
Oh,
a
yeah, it was
large
huge.
grape. Yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely was. Yes.
And I was like, oh no, I don't want to tell my wife because she.
I know why.
Well, she was like, if there's any sign of cauliflower, you're done. And I'm like, well, it's not that bad. It'll go away. We
It's a
can
badge of
drain it.
honor. Badge of honor.
Yeah. I guess.
Now he's getting it removed.
No, you are?
I'd like to. It's not. It's.
Hey, you can't even
calmed
see it
down,
now. You're
yeah,
good.
So it just my ear looks stupid.
Yeah,
It's just deformed. But
No, you're good. No problems.
So I had it before too.
Yeah.
And I think it was a little bit more than yours is right now.
Yeah.
When it first came on, and I was like, I went to George and Alan. I was like, hey, is this too late? Like it's been a
Right,
week. It's been a
right.
week or so, and they're like, yeah, bro, you're screwed. And I mean, you can't even see it anymore. It's
Yeah, I wouldn't even be able to tell.
it's
Which is kind of an insult too. Like, no, I have cauliflower ear. You can't tell, bro.
I feel it in this ear. It's changed. My ear's changed here.
I have a little bit on my
Yeah.
right ear
I didn't
also,
like it.
but
I didn't like it. I mean,
Lordell's like, you better not get cauliflower ear. I was like, I'm turning into Randy Couture.
Hey, I'm like 3 kids, married. I don't care. Them ears can fall off.
Yeah, right. Joe Rogan talks about it. Joe Rogan's like, he's like, I applaud guys that, want it, that have it, good for you. Not for me. He's like, I've worn headgear the entire time I've been doing jiu-jitsu. He's like, I do not want it. I don't want nothing to do with
I can't take the heat.
ear.
It's got to be hot with that on.
Yeah, you had headgear on for a
Yeah,
little
but he
bit,
wears
right?
hoodies. He doesn't care. He loves heat.
Well, I'm just saying, bro. His headgear, hoodie, he's wearing sweatpants underneath it.
The headgear actually helped calm it down because it was it wouldn't after it got drained. 2 days later, I was in class rolling around again, and it looked exactly the same.
Yeah, I remember.
And so, I borrowed Phil's headgear from class, so he offered it up.
Yours now.
Kinda, yeah. I owe him headgear because I'm not gonna give it. I've been sweating in it for a couple weeks now, but that actually helped. It ever since I've been wearing it, 2 weeks now.
Is
It's
that a bug?
Right in my eye.
one of those I hate.
Protein, baby.
Oh, we've been seeing all these flies around.
Yeah.
It's there's. So
I just got
annoying.
attacked by a termite like 20 minutes ago.
People don't know we're in about 20,000 acres of DNR land, so it's
Yeah.
gonna happen.
It's beautiful out here, though. Like, this weather
It
is
is.
so nice right now. I don't think we could have picked a better day in the Pacific Northwest. Usually, this time of year, it's like cloudy, might be sprinkling. Well, it has been this year. You're looking at me like that, Derek. It has been this year. This is the nicest
Derek,
day we've
aren't you
had this
hunting
whole
this year?
summer.
What's that?
Aren't you hunting this year?
I am.
Well, this is all legal hunting.
I know.
Do you?
He brought his guns.
Is it really?
It is.
It's not
Yeah.
open yet, though.
This is bear
Oh, wow.
everything right here.
You can hunt bear in here?
Yeah, there's lots of black
Oh,
bear
yeah,
in here,
there's
and cougar
tons.
for that matter.
Yeah, I went hunting for a cougar up in. It's not wild. What is there out here? It's
There's
I don't know, it's down-
Wildcat right up the street, and there's Lake Symington right up the
Yeah, it
road.
was around Lake Simonton. I went hunting for bear or cougar a little while ago. We found a bunch of kitten tracks.
Yeah, when I worked at the Humane Society, I was out here all the time for cougars killing dogs. So there's
Oh.
plenty of them.
We don't have to get a fifth mic for one, do we?
No.
Okay.
I mean, that'd be cool, but I don't think you need it.
That's funny. So, what would you guys what do your significant well, you I don't think you talked about it. What do your guys' significant others think about you guys doing jiu-jitsu, especially now that you have cauliflower ear, man?
And before you answer that, we can go around the whole table with that question.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Chris?
No, we'll start with Chris for sure.
Yeah, definitely gonna start with Chris.
Well, when I first joined. That was a thing she, my wife was worried about was getting a cauliflower thing. I'm like, nah. If you look around, not everyone gets cauliflower, in their ears. So, I guess I told her like, nah, nothing to worry about. I didn't think I'd get it. I wrestled in high school, and it was like, so I told her like, yeah, I'll quit if anything showed up. But so this thing came up, and I was like, well, we can get rid of it. It's not permanent.
It's minor.
Yeah, but she's pretty supportive about the thing. Jiu-jitsu.
Can you list me the injuries you've gotten so far from jiu-jitsu?
What are your injury accolades?
So, I don't know if cauliflower is an injury.
That's
but
an injury to
It's
me.
definitely
We'll
an
count
injury.
that as
Yeah,
one
yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
So that's one. I got my tooth
Chipped.
chipped.
Well, who
Who
did
did
that?
that? Who did that?
Who chipped a tooth?
Do you remember how that happened too?
Yeah, you were. I remember your face was on the mat. And
Wait. Travis did it. Travis,
I
what
did it.
happened?
I did it.
Oh, yeah.
No, I don't remember. I think once again I was just trying to shift my weight or move something or move my leg across, and Chris decided to move his face in the direction of my knee
Yeah.
as I
Oh.
was moving my knee in the opposite direction, and unstoppable force meets an immovable object, and his tooth chipped. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not bad.
It's a
just-
little corner of my.
Yeah, it's just a
front
little. It's
tooth,
just a
but
little tooth.
I could get it fixed. I haven't.
So we
Yeah.
have the tooth and the ear. Is that it?
That's really it. I haven't really gotten any significant injuries.
And you're still what, 24 and young, right?
Jeez.
He's like 35.
Dude,
I
right?
know. I'm giving
Yeah,
him. I'm
yeah.
giving him a compliment.
I've been
Thank you.
30.
I just signed up for the
6
Masters
years.
because I wanted to whoop all those old guys.
You can now, right? Your next
Yeah.
one?
30?
No.
No.
No, I'm not 30.
When
You
you turn 30?
29?
Yeah, I'm 29.
Okay.
That
When you
is
turn 30?
ridiculous.
I'm 29 too. I
You
turned
be
30
beating
this
up
year,
on me.
though.
I'm an old man. You're 29 years old. Mm.
Yeah.
Why
do you think I come
Respect your
back?
elders.
Why do you think
Yeah,
I? Hey, I
respect
got
your
gray hair
elders.
now, right? This little patch right here.
Oh my god.
I got some gray hair. All right,
What-
I'm joining.
What-
All right,
so what
well,
does Jenny think?
Derek, what do you got? What's your significant other say? What's your injuries? Let's hear it.
So Jenny, she's fighting it because the whole family is starting to get into jiu-jitsu. Khalees has been doing it for over a year now.
She's
coming
so
up on
cute
a
when
year.
she does it, man.
Oh, she's awesome. She's still the youngest one that I know of in the class.
How old is she?
She's 4.
Yep, youngest.
Yep. And we haven't had any new minions come in, so I haven't seen how well she's actually progressed compared to anyone else. But so Jenny sends me videos all the time because Max watches so much, my 2-year-old. Her and her sister will get into fights, and Max will come up behind her, gable lock her, and then throw her down to the ground and no shit, and side mount her.
No way.
Yeah, dude, and
That's
side
awesome.
mount
You're
her.
like, she's got it. It's a natural gift.
Yeah, baby, kids, man, kids, they do. Like
They do.
They,
Yeah,
have
yeah.
all
They
these-
can absorb it.
That's like Tegan.
It's not.
Tegan.
It's not even absorbing. It's just how they move.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like, man, like 6 months ago, Max was butt scooting forward and backwards. I'm like, Al's like, holy cow, like I can't even get adults to do that like that.
Yeah.
And Max is over here just like.
She got an itchy butt.
So I try and get him on the mat all the time, but Jenny's fighting it still. But every now and then, when she's feeling playful, I'll get Khalees to mount her from the back and do crazy horse or something like that. And so she's slowly coming along. I think it'll take another year or so. Injuries. Right now, I got some kind of shoulder muscle injury. It's not too bad, though. I'd had a pretty bad rib injury for a long time, and it made it hard to roll. But I liked it because
You're a freak.
no, I liked it
He
because
said he liked it. Who likes that? Ribs hurt.
yeah, I'm a big fighter. Not a big fighter. I like fighting. I like the idea of it. I like the competition side of it. I've never been in an MMA fight or anything like that, but I've been in a lot of street fights, and I loved them. I think 2 guys going toe-to-toe, as long as it's pretty fair, not like 4-on-1 or, I don't like any of that stuff. But 2 guys agree to go toe-to-toe out in the street, what's the difference between, as long as they don't try and actually kill each other.
Right.
So I'm all for it. But anyway, so I thought that the rib injury was good because someone kicks you in the rib or, your rib goes down, it's like you got to fight through it still. And maybe that's the military side of it also is, I think like that, but I liked it. And so those are my only 2 injuries. I've gotten a few thumb or finger things because I get caught on the gi or something and they get extended. I've actually I'll add a few more. Now that I'm thinking about it. I've had a hyperextension on both elbows, maybe once or twice on each elbow, and I hate those. So I don't even go, like, if someone gets me in an arm bar now, I just tap right away, and then I'll let them finish it out, at least while we're training. But that's mine. What about you, John?
Mm-hmm.
You guys got we got a second? Might need to take a break.
Want to take a
this
break for this?
one. Go ahead.
So I got a permanently disfigured left pinky finger from one of me and Billy's rolls.
Show him the pinky,
not
bro.
his fault. That was all me. But I can't grip with it anymore, so that's shot.
It looks like a Vienna sausage.
Yeah, I mean, that's
You should
that's
just
my normal
chop it.
now.
You should chop it off and get like a mechanical one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a
So I-
robotic.
I can't grip
It's a-
with
It's
it.
a risky.
Yeah. So
surgery,
that way
but-
you can actually have a good hook.
So I've
Not
had,
saying that you don't have a good hook.
I've had several fingers
No pun
dislocated
intended.
and toes, and he's seen the toes. The toes were all Japan, and I think I had one toe dislocate here, but now they're better. But it's weird because once you have that happen, like my fingers for sure, they're real sensitive when you're rolling, and like somebody pushes on them, they instant pain. But
Isn't it funny how you change how you roll?
yeah,
of
I
an
have to
injury?
think about it a lot. Like, some of the drills we do,
Yeah.
they're really hard on my groin. So from the stroke, they cut my groin muscles when they put those cameras in. So when we do that, like the right knee down and then you shift to the
Oh, yeah.
left and you work your way down, stuff like that's really difficult just because my groin can't handle it yet. They're better, but I don't know if they'll ever get to like normal. Other than that, I've had the rib injuries, the fingers, the toes. The left shoulder needs surgery. I'm going to wait till that is mandatory. I've already had the right rebuilt, but that's about it.
I wonder if
That's about it.
Yeah. Well, you see the one exercise I skip every time.
Yeah.
I don't.
The
What
Granby
do they
rules.
call that?
Granby rules.
It's
Yeah.
it's too painful on my left shoulder. Like I've had people try to walk me through it and but it's too much on my shoulder. I just can't do it. So I just don't even bother at this point.
How many of those injuries were at the very beginning when the school was new?
None.
None. Oh.
Yeah,
I
same.
was just wondering if it was.
I already
if it
had
was
the
like a
right
white-
shoulder rebuilt. The toes were
You're-
all from Japan.
I forgot you're old.
I'm 41 if anyone's counting.
Or hasn't listened to any other episodes.
Yeah. The finger was just me and Billy, and it was not him at all. It was me. I was reaching down to throw his ankles up on a pass, and my finger was straight when I hit the mat, and then it ended up back here.
Ugh.
The left shoulder, actually, you know how we do some of those exercises where they like grab it and pull it up or whatever like that?
Yeah.
Super painful for me. Whenever, actually, the left shoulder finally snapped the first time we did warm-ups and they had us do dive bombers. I don't know if you guys remember that. They had us do dive bombers. I tried 2 of them. I heard the shoulder go, and that was it. So when we do push-ups now in the warm-up, you'll see me on my knees. I can't do them anymore. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
We talk about it all the time, scaling and stuff like that. Derek's a former coach at Crescent Seven City, former coach at Crescent Seven City.
Not anymore.
And so he knows, scaling, nothing's wrong with scaling.
I love scaling.
Yeah, dude, me too.
I
Some scaling is harder than doing the actual movement.
Yeah. So I say if you know what you have, I wouldn't worry about what the coaches think or whatever. Just do what you got to do.
Yeah, do what you got to do.
And that's what I do.
Yeah.
Travis.
Oh, it's me.
It's just Travis's brain. It's
Yeah.
small. He's dealing with it.
Yes. No, so Lauderdale shows it's same thing with Jenny. Lauderdale's showing interest in jiu-jitsu now. She wants to learn it because of this the rape prevention, like we talk about on the podcast all the time. Rape prevention, and then just women's self-defense in general, right? And Lauderdale is a very, very strong woman, and for her to be able to translate that into self-defense would just benefit her in general anyways. But she kind of does the same thing, you better not get cauliflower ear, you better not get cauliflower ear. And I'm like, no, baby, don't worry, it's not going to be that bad if it happens, So, but she's for it. She likes that Charles does it. She thinks that it's great for kids to get into because it's a martial art, right? And also having that figure outside of the family that's teaching them respect and discipline and holding them accountable is a great thing also. So she really likes that, and it gives something for all of us, especially if she gets into it. It gives all 3 of us something, a common theme that we can all go to together besides camping or go to a movie. It's adversity we all face together, and it makes us just grow together as a family. You know what I mean? And then motivate each other. So that's why she really wants to get into it also. So she enjoys it. She also thinks it's awesome to watch me get my butt kicked by people,
I see a lot of the wives after they're done, because a lot of the wives do CrossFit.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So they'll come over and sit down, and I just watch them, and they're just
They're
laughing at their
laughing.
husband.
Yeah.
And you've had a couple injuries. You had the knee.
Yeah,
I think
So
wrist.
so my accolades for injury, probably my biggest one that stopped me for a while was my right knee. It felt like my meniscus or some tendon in the bottom of my knee was slightly torn or super inflamed for, I don't know, it was probably about 2 months,
Yeah, it was a
2
while.
3 months, to the point where I couldn't even touch my knee. And I was still trying to do jiu-jitsu during it, which probably wasn't the best idea. But having Cody give me some exercises to kind of strengthen it and rehab it and whatnot really, really helped it. And then also, we talked about, Derek, you talked about earlier how you kind of play around your injuries while you're doing it. So I just wouldn't go to my knees. I wouldn't go side control. I wouldn't get in mount. You know what I mean? I would just avoid positions where my knee would be on the ground at all. So which kind of helped me because I feel like I'm way better at my back now. I'm way
you
better
used to be
at
horrible at it.
Yeah, absolutely. I was really bad at my back,
Mm-hmm.
and John was really bad at mount, so it was just a
Yep.
stalemate.
That's why it was perfect.
Yeah.
You guys don't know, but in Japan, I'm not good in mount.
Yeah. So
Total opposites. Yeah, it was good.
yeah, so that was probably my biggest injury. Fingers, I've had bent fingers, and I've had a couple of joints that are now calcified, and they have the bumps on them and whatnot. My most recent finger was my left thumb. We were doing guard passing,
Yep, I
King of the
remember that.
Hill.
Yep.
And I went to go Logan, our blue belt, one of our instructors. Not his fault. Once again, Billy or John said, not Billy's fault, and this is not Logan's fault. It's just what happens. I went to go grab his leg, and Logan went to, if I remember correctly, he went to go put his leg on the opposite side of me. It was his right leg, my left hand, and he moved his leg just right to where when I reached for his leg, I think it was his foot or his shin just hit the very tip of my thumb. And I remember in my head looking at my thumb as it was happening, and my thumb tip was completely parallel with the ground, and it made a 90-degree angle at my knuckle. And I was like, and I felt the pop and everything like that, and I was like, crap, I just broke my thumb, man. And then I look at it, and it's back in place, and I was like, oh, thank baby Jesus, man. But I stopped rolling after that. Yeah, it was bad. Yeah.
Did you wiggle it right after?
What's up?
Did you check to see?
I moved it. Yeah, I was like, okay, it probably just obviously super hyperextended and popped out of place, but everything went right back in. And afterwards, I never thought a finger would drop you to your knees. I laid down on the ground like I had been stabbed 45 times. It hurt so bad. And so I'm laying there, and Logan's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I was like, it has nowhere in this is it your fault, bro.
Right.
Like, it honestly just happens. I'm not holding it against you or anything like that. It just sucks that it happened. And it was probably 10 minutes later, my finger was like a hot dog, and I just went home, iced it.
Cried in your pillow.
Cried in my pillow. Gave Lordell a great thumbs up that I was okay. But yeah, so wrist, shoulders, knee, just the typical stuff. Fingers, nothing too extravagant. John made me tap in from pressure one time in Japan that messed up my neck a little bit.
I think that was the
days.
only time I've ever seen you tap on pressure.
Yeah, he had me in side control.
Roy Harris, thank you.
Yeah, Roy
Thank you,
Harris.
Roy.
We just had watched a video on Roy Harris. If you guys don't know who he is, you should check him out. But he had a seminar on simply just pressure, how to just completely demoralize people from pressure, pretty much, right? And so John and I have been practicing it in Japan, and he got me in side control, and he underhooked my head, and then he brought me into him. And one thing Roy Harris talks about in this pressure seminar is you bring everything tight to you, and then you squeeze your back. You push your chest forward and bring them into you. It just adds even more pressure. And John does this, and it was so painful. I could have bridged. I could have pushed him off me. It was so much pain and pressure in my neck, I couldn't even move. It hurt to tap. That's how bad it was, right? And after that, my neck was messed up for a couple days.
I'll never forget it because it was the second time I got him to tap in my life.
And I think it was the same roll, right?
Yeah.
Earlier it was when he got me in the
I was
wrist
like, is
lock.
this shit on camera? In case you guys are wondering, you can actually get me and Travis's rolls on YouTube.
Yeah, I'd have to
recorded
before we put them out. They're out on YouTube.
Yep.
A couple of them from us in Japan. I got to find that YouTube page and
I
change
have
the
it.
name of it.
And
You do?
we would actually roll sometimes 35 minutes at a time.
Oh wow.
We would end up
Yes.
going
We
across a
love
whole
those
room.
long
And these
rolls,
weren't
man.
easy rolls. They were hard the entire
When John and I
time.
roll together, it's harder than I roll with anyone. It's same with him.
Yeah. And I'll do it. All you got to do is ask me before we roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And John and I go
if we
at
have
it.
the mat space.
If we, oh my gosh, jab. It's okay. Cody doesn't listen to the podcast, so you can say it.
No, I'll get to class a little bit early sometimes, and
Yeah.
Nate is there, and me and him will get a 10, 15-minute roll. And,
Yeah.
and no one's there, so we can go around the whole mat.
Yeah, Mondays are great for that. Mondays are great for if you want those long rolls and a little bit harder rolls and whatnot. So I'm always down to roll hard with people and actually, put a little bit more effort into it.
I don't like doing it before class because it kind
Yeah.
of takes it out of me.
Yeah, I don't really like doing it before class. But if someone after class is like, "Hey, you wanna go 90?"
Well,
And
one
I'm like,
I think these two are
do I
missing,
ever?
Travis, and I try to tell both of them, and I think they're missing it, is I think they should go to hybrid and jump in on class.
Yeah.
So this actually brings up something that I was going to talk to you guys about. Is I want to start my sister has a fight team in her, they call themselves a team. They're very in with each other. They travel around to different places, and it's more of a family type thing where everyone holds each other accountable. It's the same people. If someone doesn't show up, it's hey, where were you? We got to train. And I'm thinking about kind of starting something like that here. Maybe getting a little bit more training in with before and after classes and stuff. On off days that professor's not there and all that stuff. So I'm thinking about doing that, maybe traveling around a little bit to local ones and even, down to, I know Portland's got a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Olympia's got a couple. So I'm thinking about trying to start that. We can just carpool and stuff. So that's something that I think I want to do during wintertime is start that up. And
It'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I would love to do it. It's such you get so much going at other gyms because I've traveled around a little bit to, what is it called? Juggernaut down in Kelso.
Yeah,
I've done
you
that
dropped
one.
in a couple places. I've seen it.
Yeah.
But like for someone that's not competed, I kind of feel like I have because I've went to a couple
Right.
different places and like I don't know any of those people.
Yeah, but
And
you,
it's like
like you
6,
said,
7
you don't
rolls.
you
know?
don't go the same that you would against people that you know. Like I take it easy when I go other places. I don't know what they're training for. Like, the
Well,
first
I
time-
thought I was going easy there, but I don't know them. It's a new gym, and I think I
Exactly.
was actually kind of amped up. Like talking to them afterwards, they're like, "Hey, you need to like," and I was like, "Yeah, maybe I was amped up." like
I think
it could
people see
happen.
I think people see the wipeout sometimes, and
It's possible.
automatically assume because, like you said, everyone's 100% is different.
That's true.
But I love going to other places and just learning, seeing how other people teach, learning what's important to them, and just seeing what's there.
So I have a question for both of you, and you can both answer it, give and take. So competing, right, in November. I had a question on the last episode with a black belt named Chris from Hybrid. I wanted to know leading up to the next competition, right, which is in November. When we have open mat or we're training, do you think you should pick a partner that is similar to your weight that you're going to actually go up against in the tournament?
I'm pretty small, right? So there's not a lot of guys that are about my size.
Well, I agree. I feel like it's me, you, and maybe one or two others when we're in class.
I think it'll. I don't know, because even rolling with someone bigger than you could. There's a lot to benefit from. I think just because feeling that much weight on you and having to deal with that, but it's still. But then working on your technique.
That's
is
why
gonna
I'm
be-
saying just
yeah.
strictly what you're going to go up against in a tournament.
I think
So
it's a good idea, honestly. Like that's why when actually leading up to this past tournament, we rolled a lot together, and it helped. I think it helped me. But so yeah, I think it's probably a good idea, but I still see benefit in rolling with bigger dudes.
I'm kind of like if I practice with Thor,
Yeah,
an example, leading up to in a tournament, and if I just roll with Thor, that's not going to be a representative of what I'm actually going to face in the tournament.
and that's a good point. Yeah, it's because
That's where I'm kind of like, so I'm trying to gear my mind up for November, and I'm like, do I need to start picking who I roll with?
Maybe the last week.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Maybe the last week.
a
Yeah.
week's not enough for me. I need
No,
like
well,
3.
no, not to.
Hey, I'm honest. Like,
That is
I know
good
me.
for you.
you
Good
know?
for you.
No, I mean, I think that I'm gonna do similar to the same thing.
That's why I'm curious, and then I want to be like, hey, roll
But-
hard.
Well, yeah, but I think I'm gonna go against other. I'm not gonna pick and choose like that until a week prior, just because.
Just 1 week? You think that's enough?
I don't. I mean, that's 3 or 4 days of rolling, and I think that
You see, so
But
to
I'm
interject, Chris talks about. He's like the week of. He's like, I tell people, don't roll.
Yeah,
He's
that's
like,
why I'm
just
like,
come
I'm
practice and then go home. Just get technique in and then don't roll. Like, because God forbid you injure yourself 2 days before your competition from a roll.
maybe
You know what I
like
mean?
a real competition, but like I don't know. How long does an injury take to heal from? I mean,
It took my knee like 2.5 months.
Yeah, if that's the case, don't roll 2.5 months before you're. I don't know. That's just me thinking, but
Yeah.
like, a week. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. Like
Yeah.
No, but
I
mean,
need to.
If you're
I need to
practicing
roll.
technique, you need it to be someone that's similar to your weight. The same moves you're not going to get with someone that's 220 pounds.
Well, yeah, but you should be rolling with them regularly though too. Like
That's what I
during
mean.
during a day, during a night of rolling, 5, 6, 7 rolls, something like that, right? Like get oops, 2, 3. Sorry,
I'm going after technique. So.
I have been lately. I think you roll with 2 or 3 people your size, but get those big guys in there, get those littler guys in there to feel it.
Yeah.
And then like I said, I think a week prior I'm gonna go easy, but I need to move. like taking a week off, without even really just doing technique. Like my joints don't get to move around.
Yeah.
I need that jujitsu yoga. So,
I dig it.
yeah, I mean that's where I'm at.
Yeah. Well, hey, we've been going for a while now. I think we're good to call it. And the battery's dying on this new portable thing. Unfortunately, that's the bad part about this thing is there's a battery life
How long
to
did
it.
we get?
We got over an hour.
Well, that's pretty good.
Hour 15 minutes. So, so real quick, guys, just want to thank you guys for coming on to the podcast. So, thank you so much, Kris with the K, for coming on.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. It was
Yeah.
it was fun, and I don't know if you could tell, but I still am super nervous.
What? Still? Nah, this is
no
chill.
reason, man. See, that's what they all call us for. Derek, thanks again for coming on, bro. We're not gonna have you back on, but we appreciate it.
No, that's not true.
I'm
That's not
done.
true.
Just kidding.
I'm out of here.
Just
You're
kidding.
tired.
Hey, if you guys haven't already, please like and subscribe to our podcast. Leave us a comment and review. If you think we sound like douchebags, please leave in the comment on Facebook or something like that. Thank you guys so much for listening. Follow us on Instagram at Elbows Tight Podcast, on Facebook at Elbows Tight Podcast, everywhere. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If you want to follow our personal accounts, Kris, what's your personal account? You want to give it out to people?
Yeah, I could use some followers. No, it's at KRSEV on Instagram. So
All right, Derek, what about you?
I'm just on Facebook. I don't really know how to. I don't know how to.
I'm
do
with
any of
him.
that.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I tried.
If you-
I tried the Instagram. My wife does the Snapchat. Does Snapchat, right? It's probably not even right. But I can't do those, so I'm just Derek Dodd on Facebook. But I won't add you if I don't know you. So
There you go.
I'm
There you go.
with Derek.
Yeah, and then if you want to follow me on Instagram, I am at Travis ETP. So this is our first episode with the new recorder outside with some great people. So thank you guys so much for listening. Hey, and remember, no oil checks here. Thanks, guys.